vulgarity is not funny, but it can be. I don't really know what else to say about that. When I heard I was just inside and I heard a thing on me. My wife was watching the show. It was like a little video clip, like Tosh.0 being roasted, like these comments people had left, and people were saying things like, "How many dicks can you eat? You dick faggot, faggot this, dick that." And I thought, some of the funniest comments that I've heard, or statements, comments, insults, whatever it may be, are done without the aid of vulgar words. And I realized this at a young age, that using bad words, bad language is only the best way to utilize it is to use it sparingly, in order so when you do say something that it actually means something. If you use fuck every other word, people may tolerate it, but it becomes very annoying to talk to someone who does that. I grew up and had met more than a few people who would just motherfucker this and shit fuck damn fuck that, and it's like you're basically dividing your language up into a category of words and a category of just bad language. Like there's so many fucks added into a person's conversation that it's unbearable sometimes for me. But when I finally look a person in the eye and say fuck you, it means something, because I don't do that to people. But some people just find it necessary to be as vulgar as possible, and I know that it's because a lot of people don't know how to use language very well. That's not always why, but sometimes, let's say a person gets into a conversation or a comment debate on YouTube is a good example, and it goes back and forth and it seems pretty reasonable and rational, and then one person poses a question, well, if you believe this, then you have to understand this, and the person doesn't know how to respond, so they just go, you're a fucking idiot, dumb shit, fucker. It's like, okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, it's happened to me several times, and I'm sure it's happened to anybody who's commented on YouTube a few times. If you're even semi-confrontational, or at least stand up for things that you think are true, then people are going to attack you with cuss. It hasn't happened in a while, because generally I know which people to avoid, because it's not worth my time. But I guess I just wanted to say that cussing is really tacky unless it's used properly. But it's not just cussing, it's some of the more foul terms people use. Like faggot. I mean, that's a pretty weak term. That's a pretty outdated and dumb term to use. Cunt is another one. It's funny, I've only been called cunt a few times, and that's usually by the anti-feminist group, a few of these men going their own way, the MGTOW group. When I made a video a while back, I had a couple of them attack me, and more than a few called me a cunt, so I realized that the terminology people use is determined by what they find to be the most offensive. So if a person's, say, anti-feminism, and they're spending most of their time on forums arguing with women, they're going to use the word cunt a lot because they find it to be the most offensive word. So naturally they're going to use it on a guy as if it makes a difference. But when a person really wants to get their point across and really make a term like, say, make a person actually think, just cussing at them doesn't really do any good. And the people that know that do it anyway, I don't really know what to say about that. But for those younger out there, maybe the younger generation who thinks that vulgarity is just part of being human, or how we get heard, I'd strongly urge you to try a little bit of refraining from using some of the more vulgar terms, because you'll find that when you really need them, they'll be there, and people will listen. People aren't generally going to pick at others for using bad language. It's not something people they usually just ignore it and move on. So I figured that's why I would make this, for to cover the idea that vulgarity is it's part of who we are. We're going to use it when we need it, but abusing it like anything is going to lead to you not being taken seriously. So fucking right on, dude. I'm outie. Peace, motherfuckers.